Welcome to the Where's the Finish podcast. We are three runners talking to our friends, sharing stories about running, training, life, and asking the quintessential question, where's the finish? WTF.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Where's the Finish podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Shae.
So tonight we've got someone that has been quoted to me as being possibly the best mountain racer from Florida. I mean, that's a pretty big compliment coming from someone that we both know. Welcome to the podcast, Brian Sharbono.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I'll try to live up to that. I don't know about the best mountain runner from Florida, but I guess maybe I go and venture outside of the state quite a bit. So
yeah, I mean, I looked at your ultra sign up and you've taken on some pretty big mountain races, and you've placed really well in those races too. I mean, for a Florida boy, I mean, you look like you're up in the top 10 in a few races, and some big name races too. So yeah, I mean, and you're just coming back from running Tahoe 200. So
yes, still actually out here in California for another week enjoying Tahoe. So
yeah,
I'm loving it.
Nice.
Well, we'll get into a little more in depth of what you did out there. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live in Florida right now?
So I live in Port Orange, which is in between Daytona Beach and New Smyrna Beach.
Nice.
Okay, Joe Miller.
Yep.
We just interviewed him.
Yeah,
he just
Younger
moved
Joe Miller. He just moved to Port Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so maybe hook up
I'll
with
have to
someone
reach
who you
out.
can run with out there. Yeah, he just finished his first 100-miler with Skunk Ape 100.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Jeff Iosa was talking about him
Yeah.
out here a few days ago.
So yeah, you guys will be like homeboys, and there's there's a pretty good group of people around that area, ultra runners from in there. We've got our friends from the Running Elements, Juan Guevara, that lives over there. Who else do we have? There's several from that area.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's several. I don't know who they are.
I can't think of anything.
I don't know where people live, Joe.
I had a heck of a day at work today.
Well, what's just on the other side of Ponce Inlet, New Smyrna? There's a couple runners over there in New Smyrna area too.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you probably know these folks since you live down that way, but yeah, look up our fellow friend Joe Miller. He's going to need some people to run with. Get him introduced
I'll
into
have
the
to
scene.
reach out to him.
So yeah, New Smyrna. Does that make you? Are you a beach bunny?
No, I actually am a mountain person. That's why I tend to run these mountain races and just happenstance live close to the beach. So my wife works in Daytona. I work in Apopka. So it just kind of was a middle ground for us, and the schools were good in Port Orange. So that's why we ended up in Port Orange where we're at.
Very nice.
How long you been in Florida?
My whole life.
Oh.
So,
Oh, okay. Huh.
yeah.
Flow grown.
Floridian.
So Flo.
Yeah, I grew up in South Florida, Pembroke Pines. And then moved up
South
here
Florida's
for
a different
couple
state than
yeah,
Florida.
that's true.
Yeah, there's three states in Florida: the north, central, and south. Yeah, and the further south you go, the further north you live.
Although now I've been up here for 20 something years, and this Orlando area is starting to feel like South Florida felt like when I left 20 years ago. So just getting busier and busier,
Yeah.
and not the same feel that it used to have.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Florida is it's like any other place. You talk to people about their hometown. They're like, oh, my hometown is just not like it was when I was a kid. And they all seem like they're growing, but I don't know. Are they really growing, or is just
Yes.
population shifting?
No, they're growing.
Because we was just talking about before we started the podcast, I knew some people with the same last name, Sharbono, and they were from the Dakotas. And your family migrated here from South Dakota.
Yes, my dad was from, I forgot the name of the town now, but South Dakota. I forgot the name. I can't remember it now. But yeah, he came from South Dakota. So moved here when he was like 12 years old. So yeah, we probably have similar friends and family that know one another.
Well, I can't believe in all this time that this is the first time I've ever had a chance to really sit live and talk to you, because you just show up everywhere on my social media feed. Like, we have all the same friends apparently. And so, yeah, it's really cool to get a chance to finally meet you and talk to you about your running history, because, again, you've got quite the history. So
Yeah. So we got to figure out how in the world you became this crazy mountain guy.
Mountain goat. He's a mountain
It didn't
goat.
start that way.
So
Well, where did it start? That's a great question.
So I guess growing up, I always played sports growing up, baseball, basketball, football. I had a cool group of like 12 to 15 kids about the same age as me growing up, and we played every single sport known to man.
Wow.
Every single day we played in the neighborhood, one after another. And I was pretty good at most sports, but never really stood out at any of them. And got to high school, and I didn't really know anybody with the high school I chose to go to. So I had two friends literally when I went to high school. They both played baseball, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to try out for the baseball team. Hadn't played baseball competitively in 2 years. Quickly realized that I wasn't any good at baseball anymore after not practicing for 2 years. Gave up that dream, and was like, all right, I'm going to play basketball. I'm going to try out for the basketball team. And go sign up, try out for the basketball team, and realized I didn't have my physical in. So couldn't try out for the basketball team. So from there, I went and ran track.
There you go. The last resort.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, I missed the whole fall season with the baseball and basketball. So spring came around, joined the track team, was mediocre at sprinting. Wasn't very good throughout the whole season. I ran maybe a 60-second quarter my freshman year, so enough to get like second to last place in most meets. And one day the sprint coach told me, he's like, hey, why don't you just go run with some of those distance guys? Pretty much just telling me like, yeah, you're probably not cutting it with the sprint guys, so why don't you just go see if you can run with some of these long distance guys? And we had a really good long distance program in my high school. So I didn't know any of these guys really because, your sprint team and your distance team are pretty separated from one another.
It's like oil and water, all right? Don't mix.
Yeah, like they're on the same team, but they never really hung out. So I didn't really know any of these guys. And coach kind of looks at me and said, oh, just hang with who you can. And he gave out like several distances. He said, all right, we're going to run. If you want to run 3 miles, you go to this point and you turn around. You want to run 4, you go to this point, turn around. And the longer guys are going to do 7. And I had no idea where any of these points were. So my whole thought was like, all right, I'm just going to hang on to your life behind So my very first day of running with the distance guys, we get like 3.5 miles in, and they look back at me and they're like, hey, you were supposed to turn around miles ago. Like, what are you doing here? And so at that point, I had already ran 3.5 miles, and I just hung on for dear life the rest of the time. And I ended up running the 7 miles with the distance guys. The first time I've ever run more than 2 miles in my life.
Wow. I say the
So
same thing. I just hang on for dear life every time I run. I mean, it's exactly the same thing that goes through my brain.
Everything is still the same. Just hold on for each run.
That's right.
Yeah, Kevin just was telling us a story about a run he had this weekend with some friends that we know that these friends are fast and they're shorter distance. They're not ultra runners. And one friend of ours, Jeremy, if you run with him, he's always dragging you.
Yes.
Like even if he runs in front of you, he's dragging you along. If he's running behind you, he's just tripping on your shoes, so he's pushing you. So no matter what you do when you run with Jeremy, you just got to go fast.
Yes. Yeah.
You get sucked into Jeremy pace.
You do. And he runs way too he runs much faster than I do. So I definitely struggled with that this weekend.
But he doesn't do 100-mile races.
He could, though. I think he could with the right training.
Yeah, I think he could too. So yeah, we know all about that. I can't run with Kevin anymore because he's just faster than I am, and I'm a back of the pack runner, and I don't like to be dragged along or pushed along. Yeah.
Not all the time, right? Sometimes.
Sometimes you need it.
Like as a pacer.
Yeah. Sometimes you need it, but most of the time I don't, because I don't like to be in pain when I'm running. I just like to have fun. And working is too much. It's not fun for me.
So after high school, you did some of this first long run, and I'm assuming you got on the team at that point.
Yeah, I made the team, ran cross country and track, and then was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to run to University of Central Florida on the cross country and track.
Oh, very nice.
Cool. My kid's starting there in the fall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not running.
Not running. No.
Not running.
If Xbox were a sport,
They do have an esports.
do they? Oh, okay.
Esports were added to the Olympics.
That's wild.
That's crazy. So you can play video games at the Olympics now.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Olympic sport. There's some real sports out there like, bodybuilding or powerlifting.
I mean, that's not a sport, Joe.
And we can't get those
That
things.
sounds
in the
more like a
Olympics.
hobby.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Play what's the game they play? Call of Duty. We go Call of Duty at the Olympics.
Yeah. That sounds great.
So what was your collegiate career like?
It went really well. I don't know. Everybody goes into college thinking that they're going to be the next like Prefontaine or Olympic athlete, and quickly realized like in high school, I was a small fish in a big pond, and then came to college and I was a,
Even smaller
the
fish.
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a much smaller fish in college, and I went from, winning or being at the top of all high school races to just kind of finishing in the middle of the pack. And learned after that, I tried putting really big mileage after my freshman year and came back and only got just a little bit better. And that's when the realization was like, okay, I'm just going to be an okay runner for the rest of my life.
Okay, but we do need to justify it. You're saying an okay runner.
Yeah.
What were your times? Because you're going to say your times and people are going to be like, oh, holy cow, that's fast.
I mean, I ran 26:30 something for the 8K. That was what we ran in college.
It's like 5 miles.
Yeah.
8K?
It's 5 miles.
Yeah. In 26 minutes.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's my PR 5K time. So we'll put that into perspective.
That's fun.
Yeah, but college was great. I loved it, but started to enjoy like college more than just my life devoted around running all the time, which it was for a few years. And then by the end of it, I was burnt out and took a couple of years off of running post college, just because it's a grind throughout college. Like whether realizing you were gonna, be able to keep your scholarship from week to week if you didn't perform, and it was just stressful, and it kind of took some of the joy out of running for me for a little bit. I wouldn't change anything.
Did you ever read the Running with the Buffaloes book?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering, so is it kind of the similar way where they really push you to have like those 100-mile weeks?
Yeah. I mean, my coach wasn't as aggressive as that, but it was like everybody had to do all these really hard workouts, and it wasn't really individualized. It was just whatever stuck, and if you could handle it and you probably would be successful, but a lot of people ended up getting hurt and getting burnt out, and it wasn't as fun when there's that much pressure week in and week.
That's a common story in collegiate athletes. We've heard that several times. People that ran in college, that their coach just basically pushed them until they broke. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem like the right way to coach to me. I've done some coaching.
Yeah, my coach wasn't like that. She was great, but that's just, I mean, if you wanted to compete, that's kind of how it had to go.
Like following the formula to success that everybody follows, and if you can't hang,
exactly. And then, you would either get sick or get burnt out or get hurt.
It's a way to weed them out, huh?
Mm-hmm. So I was, a little bit, I took time off and I started weightlifting. I got into bodybuilding post-college, so.
Oh, bodybuilding.
Oops.
Oh, bodybuilding.
There we go. I was trying to figure out which microphone was accidentally on. So that's my bad. No, it's this one.
She turned you off.
There we go.
So,
okay.
It wasn't yours.
My bad.
Bodybuilding, you talking my sport.
Yeah, not true bodybuilding, but just weightlifting. I was like, 135 pound college runner, and I wanted to be a firefighter. So I was like, I need to put some weight on, and started to lift weights and purposely gain a lot of weight. So,
yeah, we just literally was just talking. I was actually having a conversation today with someone. We were talking about runners versus weightlifters, and how, during the late 80s and early 90s, it was just a meathead sport, and no one did it, other than people that were bodybuilding. And then suddenly bodybuilding started working its way into all of the sports. And then you started seeing lots of other athletes doing it. Your runners, your cyclists, your baseball players, and lots of people started introducing.
Well, you have to
bodybuilding into your sport. You
have to strength train no matter what sport you're performing in.
Yeah, but they didn't, and that was not the game thought.
I am not.
Prior to the 90s, till the late 90s, it really wasn't the way that people saw weightlifting.
12-ounce curls count, Shae.
Yeah.
12-ounce curls.
So did you find by introducing strength training into, did your coach require that of you in college?
Yeah, in college we lifted 2 to 3 times a week. But it was different from what I did post college.
Yeah, that
was
makes
more
sense.
strength.
Yeah, you were focused on a different way probably.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I went from 135, 140 pounds as a collegiate athlete to, I think I got up to 295.
Holy
300.
goodness.
So, yeah, I put on quite a bit of weight.
That's a lot of
muscle.
weight.
Yeah.
That I don't know that was at 300 pounds. That wasn't all muscle.
No. I mean, well, no, not 295. That's how much I lifted. Sorry, I was 195.
Oh, okay. I say
I had a mini heart attack.
so. I mean, I would say most of the really accomplished, the best runners that I've spent my time around with for men do tend to be in that like 140 pound range.
Yeah.
I mean that seems to be a pretty common weight for people that I've seen that are very fast and skilled as runners. I mean, obviously, the more you put on the frame, the harder it is going to be to run.
Yeah, that's why I suck at running.
Yeah. What was your degree in college? What would you study?
Public administration, and then a minor in criminal.
Hey, that's fun.
Yeah.
You said a minor in criminal justice?
Yes.
That's funny. So I went to UCF. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice and then my grad degree in public administration.
Oh yeah. When did you graduate?
Oh, I just graduated. I just did my master's. I think I graduated like a year and a half ago. But then I did I did my criminal justice way back in 2014. So.
Okay.
Huh.
We didn't overlap, but
No.
So the reason why I was asking is why fire?
So it's something I've always wanted to do. And I went to college pretty much. The main reason was because I got the scholarship to run. So I was actually more interested in running than I was in the education at the time. That flipped, I still wanted to get the degree, but I always wanted to be a firefighter. So I knew once I finished, I was going to go to fire academy and become a firefighter.
Nice. Is that what you do now currently?
Yeah, I'm a lieutenant.
Okay. I was a lieutenant for 7 years, so I'm on the fire service as well.
Nice.
Not currently, a previous life, but I moved to Florida and I didn't want to go through fire college again and all my search to transfer, so I said forget that.
Understandable.
So I was like, I'm not doing that again.
So the interesting thing about that, and I come from a law enforcement background myself, and being in these public service type positions, first responder positions, they all have a fitness requirement in them. So, I mean, you probably, like you said, you need to do some strength training because you had to drag a body around or pick up something, or, it wasn't just all running at that point when you're getting into, you're starting to try to get into the fire department. So, how has being in fire helped you with your fitness?
I've always just taken like self accountability with the fitness part. But when I did that transition from running to thinking I needed to be this big, firefighter and, be able to lift all this weight, I got the job. And then about a year in, realized that firefighting is way more cardio based than it is just pure strength.
Yep.
I don't know if I learned it on a fire, if I learned it during some competition, but I realized I'm strong, but I am not fit anymore.
So wait, what kind of competitions are there for firefighters?
I've done all types throughout the years. There's like physical agility type combats. I've competed at the world and national firefighting games. So
sweet.
I've different events there.
Yeah, I mean, I think obstacle course racing is primarily driven from fire. Like if you see the people that do these obstacle course races, like Spartan and things like that. I mean,
there's a lot of similarity for sure.
Yeah, there's stair climbs too that we compete in. My department has won the Bank of America stair climb for the past 3 years in a row. So
very cool. Nice.
We compete in that stuff too.
Well, thank you to your service to your community. So appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So at what point did you start looking at ultras? Because you went like longer distance in college, but that was probably like 10K. So
10K was the furthest I ever raced in college. And I looked at ultras and even marathons as stupid. Like I was never going to do that. It made no sense.
Same.
So it was, I don't even know what clicked in. I think it was 2009 was my first marathon. And I think I got with a couple of my good friends and my fiance at the time and said we were going to run Chicago Marathon. And I had never run more than a 10K in a race. So, we signed up for the Chicago Marathon, and it was the same month we were getting married as well. So trained for the Chicago Marathon, had no idea what I was doing, never ran a half marathon. And
Wait.
I
So
remember
what? So did you train up to a 20 miler, or did you only train up to like a half marathon before the race?
No, I did a few 20 milers.
Okay.
I followed like a Hal Higdon plan back in the day,
Yeah.
like the intermediate plan that you could just find online, and followed that with a couple changes to it. And I had to start because I didn't have a qualifying time. I had to start in the open wave of the Chicago Marathon. So I was behind like 30 something thousand people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going on some of those old Runner's World forums, like saying, is it possible to qualify for the Boston Marathon from the open corral at the Chicago Marathon? And everybody was adamant, like, no, impossible, can't happen. You'll have to pass like 30 something thousand people. And I was like, all right, well, I'll give it a shot, and I took like the longest tangents around all, like, through the downtown blocks. You had to go really, really wide around everything. And I don't know, like 6 or 7 miles in, it started to clear out a little bit to where I could run and not take those terrible tangents. And ran my first marathon and ran 2:53 and was able to qualify for Boston.
Okay.
So I did it.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
So I went on that Runner's World forum and said, hey, everybody that said I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You are wrong.
Yeah, suck it, y'all. Y'all are wrong.
So, of course, it's like that was 2009. So
that was your first marathon.
That was my
and
first
you
marathon.
BQ'd in your first marathon.
Yeah. Anything over a 10K, that was the longest I had raced.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
That's
crazy.
wild.
People train for years and years and years to try to get their Boston qualified time, show up to your first marathon.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already a talented runner.
Yeah, he already had
Yeah.
a lot of base building already leading into that.
That's true.
So unlike me, who
Yeah,
just
but I did have
muscle.
like 60 more pounds on me that I had. I lost a lot of it, but
Nice.
So that was your first marathon. Did you go run Boston after that?
yeah, so that was like what I had to do was run Boston, because if you qualify, you got to go run it. And so what I did, I followed that Hal Higdon plan for the first one, and the next one, I'm like, well, I was only running 50 miles a week or so, so now I need to really up it up and see what I can do. So I bumped it up to like 70 to 80 miles a week, and 3 weeks out, I kind of felt this twinge in my Achilles, and I was like, all right, that's not great, but took a couple days off and tried again, and it was still there, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. So still had all the plans, like we already paid for the trip. I'm like, I'm going to Boston, I'm going to run this thing. And so I had it run 3 weeks before the race, and I just sent it for 10 miles, and that was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And the only thing that kept me going was I bought that stupid Boston Marathon jacket. I'm like, if I don't finish this thing, there's no way I can like wear this jacket that I spent $100 on that I didn't have at the time. So I walked and limped my way in and finished it. And I still to this day don't even know my time. It was so painful.
Wow.
But unfortunately, partially tore my Achilles and was in and out. Yeah, for like the next year with injury from that. So that was, if I could go back, I probably shouldn't have run the marathon, but
So when you tear your Achilles, what do they do for that? Did you do surgery? What is?
There was no surgery, but it was just a long time of resting and then a lot of physical therapy post that.
That sounds horrible. I hate rest.
Yeah, it was terrible. Me too. Unfortunately, if you run long enough, it's a part of the game, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's when, not if.
So tell us about how you transitioned then into ultra from that. Did you know about ultra marathons at that point? Or?
No, so it's some of the things I wish I knew about back in the day, because I would love to run Western States back in 20,
when you could get in it just with
when I could get in and probably compete at it. And but no, I didn't know anything about any ultras. And then finally it was 2018. 2016 I ran my first ultra.
Okay.
And it was like a 50K, the Frosty Foot up in North Carolina. And once again, just trained as a marathon. Didn't know what I was doing.
Is that trail
Went out.
or road?
Yeah, it was trail.
Okay.
It's at Tasali, goes around Fontana Lake.
Okay, I know the area.
North Carolina.
Yeah,
So
Western North Carolina.
hilly. Yeah. It's a pretty course, but didn't know what I was doing. Just kind of was cruising like 6 minute mile pace and realized like, yeah, we're going out a little too hot. So I let a couple guys go and I ran by myself most of the time and then passed a few people and ended up finishing second in my first one.
Very nice.
Wow.
But I enjoyed it, but I didn't really commit for another ultra until 2018, until I signed up for Pinhoti. So,
Yeah, and that one.
Yeah, we have our statistician here, so
Yeah, I always have to check stuff because you did like River to Sea. You did this Rebecca Mountain 50.
yeah, so Rebecca Mountain 50 was leading up to Pinhoti.
Part of your build.
So, 'cause once again, at that point, I signed up for 100 and I never ran further than a 50K. So I wanted to use the 50 miler as a training run.
But your first ultra, Fontana Lake is a reservoir, with a dam, with a big dam at the end of it. So there's mountains there. So you picked a mountain race for your first ultra, and you just told us you were in Florida. And we talked about the fact that you seemed to go towards mountains. So what was the driver for picking that as your race, and how did you stay up in the mountains?
So I always loved, my family made it a point to go up to North Carolina and go camping every year, or close to every year. And I just loved the mountains. That was where I enjoyed running the most. And I would just go out and get lost when I was, in high school. We'd go out there and I would just train in the mountains. So that was where I wanted to race. So I don't even know how I picked up Frosty Foot, but I saw it wasn't too difficult. I think there was only 3,000 feet of gain for the 50K. So doable coming from Florida without,
minimal training. Sure.
Yeah. And then, I've just always loved going to the mountains. That's
So
kind of where I like to race. So I kind of make the excuse on our trips is all right, let's go to this cool spot and, I'll figure out the training for it.
I think Pinhoti is one of the coolest races around, and it's one that I wouldn't mind doing myself. So tell us about your Pinhoti experience then.
Yeah, Pinhoti was great. So I came into it a little different because once I signed up for the 100, I ran 2018 Boston Marathon was my last marathon. That was and then I was going to transition over to ultras, and I haven't run a marathon since that 2018 Boston. And I was kind of overwhelmed with the training on how to train for it. So I reached out to David Roach, and he coached me for at least the past 6.5 years since that one. So it was kind of nice having somebody guide me towards that.
So he's coaching you now still?
No, I ended it in February.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of do my own thing.
Gotcha.
Come February. But yeah, we worked together for 6.5 years.
So how was it that you made the decision that I'm going to hire a coach? Because that's a big thing from going all these years without, having one to go into a coach. I mean, what made you decide to do that?
It was really, I was overwhelmed with the 100 mile. At that point in 2018, it wasn't like it is today where you can find a lot of information on how to train for 100 miles.
Yeah.
I felt like it was more training for the 200 mile now is kind of that voodoo science that nobody really has figured out exactly. But now 100 milers, I think most people have figured out. But back then it was kind of how 200 milers are now. So, and I just wanted to give myself the best opportunity. I listened to David on a few podcasts, and, we seemed to gel, have the same mindset. We talked back and forth for a while, and we're just a great fit working together.
Well, it's probably, a lot of people that don't know, he was also collegiate athlete. So you kind of have that similar background in common.
Yeah, he was a football player in college.
Football player? Oh, okay. Because I know he's like an elite or sub-elite at one point with Mountain Trail.
Yeah, he was on the USA Mountain Trail team.
That's what it is. Okay.
So he was sub-ultra races was mostly, but then he started coaching more ultra runners.
So how did Pinhoti go for you then?
So I remember going into Pinhoti, the only goal was, all right, this is my first 100. I got to finish this thing. But it's also wanting to be fairly competitive in it. It was going well for 40 miles, and then I had this psoas issue going into it in the my groin area that got worse and worse throughout the race to where it was just extremely painful. So I finished the race, but it didn't go as well as I wanted to. I think I was in 4th place for for that first 40 miles. And then, I fell off pretty substantially from there, but I finished it, which was ultimately the main goal.
Gotcha. So
Pinhoti is a great race, as you were saying. I recommend. It's tricky. It's harder than most people, I think, give it credit for too, because it's
So
relentlessly up and down.
I do want to mention, he's like, I fell off. Just realize his first 100 miler, he finished in 22 hours and 16 minutes.
Yeah, mountain 100 miler at that. So
you say you fell off, but I mean,
but Pinhoti, a lot of people go out to that one. So it's a competitive race. Yeah, so you get big names. I mean, for East Coast mountain races, Pinhoti's on the list of that one, and what the Yeti and a couple others that people do. You get some big people that go out to that one.
Jeff Browning was there that year.
Yeah, Jeff Browning won it that year, and Kyle Curtin, who has the current Tahoe 200 course record, and I think the Colorado FKT was second or third. So it was a competitive year.
It looks like it. Wow.
Yeah. So what year was that? Was 2018 when you did?
2018.
So there's a lot of time between then and now. So tell me about some of the other big races. I mean, I was out yesterday with Jeff Iosa looking at planning some course routes, and he had mentioned something about you doing the Wasatch Mountain 100 and like killing it out there.
I haven't done that one.
Was it Wasatch?
It's on the list.
Or was
I've
it
done Leadville.
Probably Leadville. Massanutten.
Was it?
Yeah,
there was another one he mentioned. Maybe it wasn't
Zion?
Wasatch. Zion. Maybe it was Zion that he was talking about. And the
I did Zion last year.
Yeah.
Zion 100K last year.
Yeah, that is the one he was talking about. So, you finished pretty respectfully in that one too.
Yeah, I finished second. I had the lead for a while, and then kind of faded the last 10 miles or so and finished in second at Zion.
Wow. And that's a very technical. I just imagine. I've seen pictures of Zion, and I've been into the actual park before, which I don't think that race goes into the actual park, but you're still up on those buttes and those bluffs, and you have those giant 1,000-foot cliffs everywhere. Does it intimidate you at all when you're up at those elevations and you're running along the edge?
I love it.
Really?
That's what motivates me. I just enjoy being out there and hammering the downs, pushing the ups, and it's my favorite thing to do.
How in the world are you training? Because we've talked to several people of like, bridges aren't mountains, treadmill inclines aren't mountains. How are you like wrapping your brain around, living in Florida while also really doing these very big races?
It's tough. You have to strength train. I think that's something you have to do if you want to be successful. That's a minimum. And then it's not the ups. Like you can train for the ups on the treadmill, and it's the downs, the repeated downs. And the only way to truly get those in is to take training trips or training camps to the mountains. That's how I found the only way I can be successful is if you do it usually if you can do it twice, ideally in a training block before your race. So 5 weeks out and 8 to 10 weeks out. If you do 2 trips where you can get in, somewhere between 2 to 4 runs, longer runs, and where you're really pushing those downs, that'll help simulate a little bit. And then when you come back to Florida, then you can kind of help with the bridges and pushing the downs there. But it's challenging. It's not.
Where are your
thing.
go-to places? Are you going to where near the race is, or are you going somewhere else?
Ideally, so just for this last training block, 5 weeks. Well, I guess it was 5 weeks before the race. Went to Flagstaff and ran the Flagstaff Crests race out there, which didn't have as much climbing as we were hoping. But then the next day did the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim.
Oh, very nice.
So that was a good 44 miles with 11,000 feet of up and down. So that's a good way to simulate, some of that pounding that you're going to get during the race.
So what happens if you're running downhill and then your legs are just gone? Lots of downhill if you haven't practiced the downhill. I'm asking for me. I haven't practiced any downhill, but I'm going to have downhill in my next race.
14 days.
Yeah.
So try to take it a little easier than, don't try to hammer all the downhills, because if your quads blow up, then it usually doesn't go too well for your race. So try to take it easier.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out.
Which race are you doing?
Badwater.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So it's got downhill
but it's a lot of uphill.
It's a lot of
uphill.
that's
a lot. It's a gradual uphill, right? Most of it.
Yeah, it's like three different big climbs.
Yeah.
So tell us about, before we get to this last race that you just did, tell us about some of your best races, your best performances, or maybe a favorite race or something that you've done, something you've really been proud of, or something you really enjoyed doing.
Let's see. I think I'm most successful at 50 mile to 100K is usually like what I seem to be best at. But stupidly, I'm drawn to 100 and 200 mile races because I haven't been as successful, I think, at those races. For the 100 mile, I think probably my most successful was Javelina. It wasn't a great day, but at the Javelina 100, and I think it was 2023, I finished ninth male, which to finish top 10 at the second most competitive 100-mile race in the U.S. was something I was pretty happy about.
15:33.
Is there any advice? Because we have quite a crew that are going to be going out to Javelina this year. Any advice for us?
So the first 10 miles is like a gradual uphill, and then the next back 10 miles is like a smooth, cruisy, slight downhill. So just kind of survive that first 10 miles to that main aid station, and then that back 10 is so easy to run. Their footing's not technical. Coming from Florida, I never thought it was hot. Everybody was, complaining about it being hot. But as long as you're cooling yourself at each aid station, I felt comfortable the entire time. So we have a lot of advantages coming from where we are.
Nice.
Don't walk like an hour in the third lap like I did. That's what kind of
we're doing the 100K. So
okay.
Yeah. We don't want to we don't want to do the night.
No. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that was my problem, was that I just hit a low spot on the third lap and walked a little bit and then kind of got in my head and was talking to some people. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, I was feeling better. And I met up with Matt Daniels, who was leading the race. And we started talking. He was talking about his day, how, it fell apart and how my day kind of was falling apart. And then we were just discussing, and we're like, let's start jogging. And we start jogging. And the next thing you know, we're running 7-minute pace. And I was like, all right. And my race turned around. He unfortunately said after that third loop, he's like, I'm absolutely done, but congratulations, keep going. And so that's where my race turned around.
Nice. Did you have a pacer there, or were you?
No, I did that one solo. I just had my wife crewing in. So I sold it to her as like an anniversary trip. Okay. That's not a good idea.
Please take care of me for our anniversary.
Yeah, and then she still gives me crap about it because the next day I was so wrecked. Like, we were supposed to go visit Sedona and do some hikes, and I couldn't hike more than like a mile, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this.
Oh, man.
It's at that point where you just like, all right, we're just going to buy an entire day spa. Like, we'll do a spa day and just.
Yeah, that would have made way more sense, but yeah, I didn't think of that. I was like, I'll be fine.
All right, so gradual uphill, first 10 miles.
And then nice
cruisy down.
Smooth down, yeah.
That sounds great. You make it sound amazing. I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Too. Costumes.
It's a fun party. It's like the hub is really cool. There's like, people dancing. There's whether it's fire blowers.
Yeah, I heard there's free socks. I keep hearing about these free socks.
You go the day before, I got a free ice bandana, or like a rabbit ice bandana.
Nice.
So try to do that.
Our friend Greg, you may know Greg Lawson.
You know Greg Lawson?
Yeah. So Greg, he's told us the story of how there was a guy going around with a box of socks and
weed gummies,
edibles. Yeah.
Oh man.
So he took some socks and he took some gummies.
Nice.
So how about transitioning into multi-day races? Where did that happen for you?
So I've always been interested in the Tahoe Rim Trail and doing the whole navigation around the lake. And then I saw this race and it was kind of on my bucket list. I think this is the 9th year that Tahoe 200's been going on. And I've always been interested in this area. I've wanted to get in the Western States for years now. And I think I have 32 tickets in the lottery. So one day I'll get in, but I might be 50 years old. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So a year ago, we planned it that we were going to come out here as a family, and I was either going to do Tahoe 200, Western States, and if I didn't get into either one of those, I was going to do Broken Arrow. So each one of those it's Tahoe 200, then Broken Arrow, then Western States, back to back to back weekends, all in the same area. So
wouldn't it have been really cool if you did all three?
Somebody was asking if I could do that, and I was like, you could be the first person. I was like, I don't know. I feel pretty good now. Like I could probably pull it off, but it wouldn't be smart.
I was reading about Broken Arrow just today, and they got so much snow on the mountain that they had to evac runners off the course.
Yeah, it got pretty nasty out. We watched the end of the 46K, and I think it was Eli Hemming that came in screaming down the mountain. We watched the top 10 or so finish, and we headed out, came back to the house, and saw like the clouds coming in and how bad it was. And it started snowing here at the place. And
oh my gosh,
it was pretty nasty. Like not just a little snow; it was like snowing.
Like snow. Yeah.
In June. So you registered for Tahoe 200. So this is your first multi-day race. This is your first 200 miler.
Yes. Yeah. The first, I've done 5 100s, and this is the first multi-day that I was going for. So
kind of run us through your race a little bit. How was it getting out there to the race? Did you have a lackluster trip, or did you have any problems getting out to the race?
No problems really getting out to the race. Everything was pretty easy. My training before this race was different. Part of the reason why I moved on from David was I've been having this posterior tibial tendon issue in my foot that I just couldn't really address. So my training didn't involve any speed work. Anytime I would do speed work, I would be limping around for 2 days. So I could run, but I just couldn't do speed work. So that would limit how fit I could get. It was completely different training than I've done in the past for this. So I did a lot of hiking, a lot of biking, and a lot of slow running. So that was different, but I did everything I think I possibly could leading up to this to be successful. And then we got here and got the packet the day before. Everything went fairly smooth.
So you didn't go out there a week or two early for acclimation or anything?
No, we planned on it, but we were already coming out here for 19 days, which is already kind of to make it through Tahoe 200 and then the Western States 200. So 100. So adding on another 10 days or so just wasn't in the cards. I wanted to.
So you're staying out there.
Would have helped my race.
You're staying out there after the race to participate with Western? Are you volunteering? Or are you aiding or crewing?
We're just watching. Yeah, we're just going to be watching. Yeah.
It is a really fun one to be a spectator at. It really is.
Yeah. I've always, wanted to come out here for it. And like
you will leave with the real bug to do that race. I guarantee it.
I think he's already got the bug.
Yeah. I've had the bug for a while. But even just being down in Olympic Valley for Broken Arrow, because my son ran the 11K there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that was awesome getting to watch him and do his first trail race. So just being in that and seeing all the runners that, you hear on podcasts and whatnot, getting to talk to them was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Tahoe 200. What some little information about that race? What is it all about?
So when I signed up for this race, I was hoping it was going to be a 200-mile race that circumnavigated Lake Tahoe. Unfortunately, they had fires a few years ago that have destroyed part of the trail, I think on the southeastern side of the lake, that they just haven't been able to fix. So they weren't able to get the permits. So it's the same course as last year. It's a double out and back. So you pretty much do 33 miles out, 33 miles in to the main hub, and then you go back out and you go to Tahoe City, come back to that main hub at Heavenly Stagecoach. So it's 2 double out and backs.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many miles did you end up running total throughout the race?
I got 213 and a half on my watch.
Okay.
Hey.
So all the free miles.
Yeah, which I was a little aggravated at times for. When
you're like, my watch says 200, and yet I'm a half marathon from the finish.
Yeah, I might have. Jeff Iosa was pacing me when we hit the 200, and I might have yelled, like, this is ridiculous. I'm at 200, and we're not even close to being at the finish.
So, I did talk to Jeff a little bit pre to this, and we had a fun talk about your nutrition plan. So I know, of course, you've accomplished a 200-mile race. You've done 5 100. So whatever you're doing has worked for you. And I know these two are going to love to hear how you.
Please tell me you had 473 gels.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Oh, man.
So I came into this thinking, like, I'm going to try to eat 60 to 90 grams of carbs an hour. And the way I was going to do that is Precision Nutrition. I use their gels, and then I would use, I think it was a Never Second they had at the aid stations as their nutrition sponsor. And then I would use Tailwind high carb drink in some of my bottles as well. And I've never had issues with it, and I still didn't have any issues with that. The problem I ran into was I was going to do that and then come into the aid station and try to gorge as much, calories as I could, somewhere between like 400 and 800. And every aid station I came into, I just did not do that for some reason. I would grab like a quesadilla, which maybe is 100 calories or something.
Because you're probably in the 100-mile mindset or the 50-mile mindset.
I'm looking at these aid stations as I'm losing time, especially early on, because everybody went out pretty quick in this. So I, was in probably 20th place, like right off the bat, but just cruising, just taking my time. But I did feel like the first 100K, you go out and you're above 9,500 feet for a good chunk of it.
Could you feel that? You could actually feel it in your breathing?
That was the first time. And I've run at altitude plenty of times, and I've run Leadville and didn't have major issues, but I was working harder than I should have been for the effort I was given. And that was the first, okay, this isn't great, at this moment. And then that was the first mistake. I was going too high. Anytime above 8,500, I could tell. I didn't even have to look at my watch. I'm like, I know we're above 8,500 feet because, I'm having trouble breathing. And then, the aid stations, I made the mistake of not spending enough time and eating enough food. That was a big mistake that I didn't figure out with Jeff's help till 135 miles in.
So how did Jeff help you get that figured out?
Well, I was having a really low spot and he was being patient with me, but I was just struggling. I was still kind of running the downs and flats, but this race is there's not really any flat. You're either going up or down the entire time. There was 38,000 feet of climbing and descending. So it's, up or down. So I had no energy. Everything felt like crap. I was miserable. And he's like, what have you been eating at the aid stations finally? And I kind of was going through my head, and I'm like, well, shit, I haven't been eating. And it just clicked, and he's like, and I'm like, that's my problem. I calorie deficient right now. I haven't would eat a couple bites at each aid station, which quesadillas are great, but yeah, if you only eat but
they're some of them are 20 miles apart, right? 15.
Yeah, so every aid station was between 16 and 20 miles.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
you had to be pretty self-sufficient. So in between those, I'm just eating my gels and my liquid calories. I didn't really have any solid food in between, but I was anticipating eating a lot at each aid station, which I just didn't end up doing. So at one moment, I think it was at mile 138, I was with Jeff and had this moment where I'm going to eat all the calories I have left. And we were still 4 miles out from the halfway out point, the Tahoe City aid station, which would be your turnaround to come back to the finish. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, but I ate every calorie I had, ate all my emergency calories, all my food, and sat on the bench for on this little bench for a minute.
We love a good bench.
Yeah, it was actually just a tree that was down a tree.
It was bench-like.
It looked like a bench.
It was comfortable for the moment.
Did a homeless guy out there tell you this looks like a bench?
If you asked a homeless guy if it looked like a bench. That's what I did.
It was rough, but I took my hat off, I took my poles down, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, how am I going to get through this? It was the lowest low I've ever had in a race. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go. I'm throwing my poles in here, and I'm going to give it everything I got and run as hard as I can.
Oh, boy. And
Jeff had been he made a joke a little while before that, when we were 7 miles out. He's like, oh, if we could just run, we would only be an hour from the aid station. That's funny. So I know he was just trying to motivate me, but at the time I'm like, that's not.
It's easier for you to say. You're not 130 miles in.
And I could tell he was tired too, because this was, he's long into this pacing duty too. And it's extremely hard for the pacers. My, two buddies that came out, it's a lot. These are 30+ mile sections that they're pacing me, So I could tell that he was kind of disappointed in me. And like didn't say it, but you could see it in his eyes. He was slightly disappointed in me. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this everything I got. Threw my poles in there, and I just shot out. And
he said something about, you talk about your eyes. He said something went off in your eyes, actually. And then suddenly you ran like a bat out of hell, and he was huffing and puffing, keeping up with you.
Yeah, my goal was I was like, I'm going to drop him.
It's I'm going to show you. I'll drop you.
Normally 7-minute mile pace, at this point. And it was so weird because I jumped off immediately. I didn't even tell him I was going to go. I'm just like, back, and I said, I'm not using these poles anymore, and I'm going. And yeah, I took off, and I was expecting my legs to feel like trash, but they felt great. Like I had just started the race.
Oh boy,
and
that's dangerous.
I just went, and I looked down at my watch, and we're running sub 9-minute miles on like technical stuff, like rocky stuff. And I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm going to roll with it. And I'm like, I only got to do it. I think he said 3.7 miles. I'm like, all right, I can do anything for 3.7 miles. So that's what I did. Just hammered it all the way down to the bottom until we got to Tahoe City.
Now, Tahoe City, you got some real good food in you?
Yeah. Then finally I ate a bunch there. We had, what was this? They brought me some chicken Alfredo that they had from the night before. Devoured that like whole thing, whole chicken Alfredo, bunch of other food, and continued to feel good. And then Joshua Gray was my other pacer, and we went from there and had another great section that next, I think it was another 18 miles back to the next aid station.
So it was just putting all the calories, and it fixed
all
things.
The calories. So yeah, the biggest lesson learned was don't get calorie, deficient.
Yeah. Especially with the multi-days, because every single time you kind of realize that. And of course, like I always say it, day 2 is always the worst day, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Any multi-day, day 2 sucks. Just bad.
Yeah.
Well, you always say food is mood.
Food is mood.
That's
and it just snuck up on me because I did eat constantly, but it was that lower calorie
gels. Sometimes
gels.
Your stomach just needs to process some real food in order for it to work. I
think that's what it was.
Well, and then like you got to have like an actual. One of the things that I always prioritize is an actual meal, because like kind of you realize like in a normal day you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but then when you go and you're racing 100 miles, you're just eating a little bit every hour, not actually having your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you're already behind on your calories that way.
Yeah. So at this time, point in my own personal career, I have probably paced or crewed about 35 people in a multi-day race on the Across Florida 200. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen a lot of commonalities in those people, the ones that do well and the ones that don't do well. And nutrition is a big piece. Real food is a big piece. The other piece that I see, the people that don't do well don't manage their sleep well. And I think sleep management was a big piece of 200-mile races too. So how'd that go for you?
Yeah, that was another challenging thing. I came in with the plan that I was going to try to sleep as minimal as possible, but I initially wanted to come in and compete at this, and be on the podium, and that just didn't pan out after, I realized the first day. So I laid down for 90 minutes after that first 66-mile section. When you come back, that first out and back, slept for 90 minutes, but it was in the back of the minivan that we had rented. And so I'm like hurtled up in like a fetal position trying to sleep in there, which wasn't very successful. And then after that, I slept 2 hours each night. So enough to feel like a new person.
So you got almost 6 hours of sleep during the entire race?
Yeah, probably about that, with a couple dirt naps thrown in there.
The old dirt nap.
Yeah. They do magic. It's like you'll be all this. It hits you. That sleep hits you quick.
It's amazing what 30 minutes will do for you.
Yeah, I would just take 10. I would just be like, hey, I just need 10 minutes. And I'd do that a few times and lay down for 10 minutes and like, all right, I'm good to go.
So looking at your race stats, did you go back and look at your Strava or anything that you recorded your race and see how much time you actually had not moving?
No, I haven't. I don't. It's probably a lot.
I can tell you will be very shocked by yours, because I have been in many of them. Let's see.
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't looked at it. I haven't really gone into the stats of it all that much yet.
So preconceived notions going into a 200-mile race. What everyone has this wonderful plan laid out what they're going to do, and then rapidly just falls to crap, and you're just working the race. So what things did you go into this race think you were going to do that didn't work out for you?
Yeah, I thought I was going to eat more and eat better, and part of it was I thought there was going to be more options at some of the aid stations that didn't seem to be there. It would just seem like the normal fare of like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and quesadillas, which
you got to have something new and novel in these kind of races.
Give me a burger. Yeah, I just want to eat a burger.
And I did eat a half a burger at one, but that was only an option at like one of the aid stations early on. So it was very basic meal stuff. So I should have prepared better for that. I wasn't planning on sleeping anywhere near as much. I was thinking I was going to take like 20, 30-minute naps. But once the plan went out the window, I was like, I might as well take the sleep. I don't even care anymore.
Interesting thing.
I will tell you. So I did look because I'm curious. Because I'm nosy. Right. So you had 63 hours of moving time out of your 81 hours.
That's quite a bit of downtime.
Yeah.
It adds up very fast though.
Yeah. I've seen it though, where people want to skimp on the sleep in a 200-mile run, want to have short sleeps. And then I've seen an example. We had a group that run the across floor 200 that took 8 hours every night. And then they end up finishing 72 hours, I think it was, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they had like 6 to 8 hours. They had like whole nights of sleep versus an hour and a half or 2 hours. Yeah,
I mean, Shae slept every night 8-10 hours.
So it's like
6 to 8 hours.
We had breakfast. We went out to breakfast, Shae, and ate breakfast.
It's like charging that battery, and the more downtime. I don't know that it absolutely. I mean, I think there is a place where you start having negative returns on it, but that big sleep allows you to recover enough to where you can run hard again.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're trying to go, the winter was like around 50 some odd hours or 60 some odd hours.
Yeah, I mean, that sleep would make or break you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could certainly see both sides of the coin.
Yeah. And I dealt with sleep. Once I realized my goals were out the window, I didn't really care too much about the sleep. That's why I took the 2 hours each night. But I think there is a balancing act of it, and it depends on how long you're going to be out there. Like for across Florida, I think somebody can run low 40 hours out there. Mm-hmm. So then do you really need to sleep more than,
So far, the course record's 46.
Yeah, I think it could go, quite a bit under that.
Are you signing up for it?
I don't know. I've still got to.
I would I was out there with the 46-hour runner, and the FKT. I thought was soft before that, but when the FKT was 48 hours, I'm like, okay, now we're in real FKT territory. And then to have it broke just a couple weeks later at 46 hours. Yeah. But
I think it's still. I think it can be broke again.
I think it can too, but
I think it will this year.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be low 40s though.
I think so. I think it'll be low 40s.
I think 42 is definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. I think 40 to 42 is what I expect to see out of that race.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe 44.
And the weather will play a big factor. If you get one of those hot November days, then that makes it a lot more difficult. But if you get a comfortable day,
everyone that's ran it, and I know this, it's a sleeper course. Everyone underestimates the course. So it's a lot tougher.
I think you should sign up.
I think you should too. Would love to see you out there.
Do it.
I won't say no, but I need a few more weeks to process this whole 200. I was like, never again.
Yeah. So your ultimate finish time on this was, what we say, 81 hours?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your goal? What did you think you was going to run it in?
So way off. I had 3 goals. My A goal was 55 hours. That was if everything was going to go perfectly well, and nailed it. 60, a mediocre, like everything still went well, but just a few minor issues. And then I had somewhere like 65 was my C goal. And then if it took longer than 65, it was just, my goal was literally just to finish it.
Yeah. I think
it was my first one. So
it's always the best to finish.
Definitely go south.
I mean, finishing should always be one of those goals, especially the first time you've done a distance.
But yes,
and it's
I completely.
and people that have run 100 miles really underestimate a 200 mile and the difference in what this is completely the style of the race is completely different.
Completely different. Yeah, I don't. I looked at it closer to 100 miler than it truly is. It's way on that other end of more of a multi-day event where you're just, you got to make sure all those little things are right. You got to take care of yourself. I had some blister stuff where that took, like, even getting your feet taken care of takes 45 minutes in an aid station.
Yeah.
Where it's like just you're hemorrhaging time out there, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
And it's necessary time, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I would have probably not finished if I didn't get my feet taken care of at mile 100. Like, she was a godsend. She made it to where I could finish that next 100 and I was okay.
Yeah, because you think if you're doing a 100-miler and you've got blistered feet at 80, you're just gonna you're just gonna keep going and okay, it is what it is. But you're halfway at.
And when you run a 100-miler in 15 hours, you're not really running overnight like everybody else says. So this is a true thing.
Yeah, I've done Massanutten that took me 25 hours. So I've been out there all night before. But on my better days I've run 15:33 at Javelina and 15:50 something at Umstead. So
wow,
yeah,
that's great.
Well, do you have one thing that you would say was your biggest take home from the race, or?
There's a lot. 200 miles are extremely hard. I have huge respect for anybody that's out there that accomplishes that distance, because 100 miles are hard, but man, 200 it's not even double hard. It was way harder than that.
Yeah.
Are you Vol State or Hots curious at all?
No.
He's a mountain man. He's not going to.
He wants to do. There's still an elevation there.
There's some elevation.
They had to climb up Satan's Crack or whatever the hell they called it. For Hots.
Satan's Crack, I love it.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh, Joe, we'll show you a picture here at the end. It was ridiculous. They made them climb up this crack of this rock, straight up.
Yep, to get to the rock, they had a different path than Ball State and Hots.
Dumb. Why are we doing
this? So 81 hours and you're finishing. And what was your placing like for the race?
I think I was in the 40s.
That's great though. Yeah, that's good.
That's still very good.
Yeah, I think there was 300 something that started and 100 and something finished. So
yeah.
What was your nighttime temperatures like? Do you remember?
It got down into the upper 30s, low 40s.
Oh, no. Okay, then how do you deal with that as a Floridian too? Because you're going to the mountains are cold.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I wore pants both one night or both nights. I don't remember, but I wore pants and then just a jacket, and that was it. I was fine as long as you were moving.
Yeah.
I think the problem becomes when you're not moving. And I didn't take any dirt naps at night because I knew I'd get too cold. So that was one thing that motivated you.
What was the daytime temperature then? 70, 80?
It only got up to 74, 75. So it was pretty perfect conditions, mid 70s and low 40s.
Still a lot of snow up there on the mountains? Yeah,
the first day we had quite a bit of snow crossing, which I wasn't going to use poles because I didn't really like using poles. But in the last minute, I decided, I was I'll bring them for the first section just because of the snow. And I'm glad I did, because I probably would have been sliding down one of those mountains if I didn't have my poles, because there was good 100-foot section, that you had to walk across. It's on the slide of a mountain that you're trying to get grip on. So poles saved me a few times.
Wow.
So what's next on the horizon? What are the bucket list races?
Well, Western States is definitely bucket list. I was going to say Cocodona or Bigfoot. I'm still wrapping my head around the 200 if I want to do that.
Yeah, give it a little time.
Yeah. And
let the pain fade.
There's plenty of mountain races Wasatch I would love to do. The Bear 100. A lot of mountain races.
What's the one that Prairie just did?
Well, I want to do the Bear because that ends 15 minutes from where I grew up.
Oh.
Oh.
Cool. In Fish Haven. So we, every time we wanted to go to, Walmart or the mall, we had to drive through those canyons. So that's where I grew up. So
what was the one that Chris Prairie just did out in Iron something? He's gonna be mad at me. I don't remember what it is.
Well, I know Wyoming Range is one of his.
Yeah, he just did it. He was the one. He was like a multi-day, and he was up on top of the mountains or whatever.
Huh.
I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't Chris Prairie.
I don't think it was Chris Prairie.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, maybe you're just.
He will correct us though. He will definitely correct us.
He will hear this and
correct us.
tell us.
Yes.
He will call.
He will
call you out
tag
on
me
it.
and
What
Slack
about
right now.
I'm gonna say the town's name wrong, but Ouray.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually going out there next month to pace.
Who-
Joshua Gray.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
So,
buddy Nathan, I'm sure you know Nathan Gehring.
no, I
He's
don't
from
think I do.
oh, okay. He's from down in Lake Boca, and he did it. So he went to several.
Oh.
He also did like several going to another place to actually get elevation and train. So he did a similar kind of thing, just trying to train for that nonsense.
Uray's scary looking. I think that's 48,000 feet of climbing, which is insane for 100 miles. That's,
Oh, yeah.
You're just up and up and up.
Well, there's so
But
many
I'll-
wonderful races out there to do, and that's and obviously since you're a mountain racer, you can go do a lot of them. Some of us just don't. We avoid mountain races at this point in our careers.
I mean, we're kind of starting out here. So.
I love mountain races, but I still like testing myself at like flatter stuff too. So it's not off the table. Like, I would
Yeah,
love
you're
to do it.
doing a PTC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm signed up for it. We'll see. I'm
You could be one of those sign up, don't go PTCs free type of guys.
I definitely would pull my name off the list before so other people could get in, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I haven't 100% committed. I switched shifts at work too, so I got to make sure I can get off from work on that day too. So
Yeah. So what races in Florida might we see you at?
I've always been interested in the tick and
Yeah, the itch.
The itch.
yeah.
Yeah, it runs right
The
through
itch.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the itch is literally like 2 miles from my house.
Yep.
Yeah, and,
Like it
Oh,
ends.
okay.
Yeah.
and Andy Matthews, A1 Ultras, took those over this year.
He did.
I did just see that. So yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I love the Ocala, the Florida Trail section in the Ocala area.
There's a really
Go
good
down
one,
trail.
a similar route called the Big Scrub 150 coming up.
Yeah. He doesn't qualify
yeah?
though, Joe.
Hey, we
He
can
doesn't
get-
qualify.
We can get him eligible for it.
Yeah.
Big Scrub 150. Is it 150 miles?
150 miles on the trail.
Ooh.
So it starts at Clearwater Lake on the south.
That's where I train all the time.
Yeah, so it starts there, runs up to Rodman Dam, turns around, come back, and finishes on the western corridor in Denellen. And your buddy Jeff Iosa is planning on running it in January. So if you crew or support someone in this race, then you will be eligible to get an invitation to the race. So find one of your friends
right.
that
And
is doing
it's
it.
like the virtual
it's
style.
a virtual. It's
It's a virtual. It's going to be
Okay.
just like the old Across Florida 200 virtual.
Yeah.
Very similar rules. But
Sounds like a good course.
so it's going to be wonderful. So just put it in the back of your head. You got a friend that's going to be running that might need some help.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it too.
I'm not-
Awesome.
Yeah. Shay says no.
Sounds fun.
No,
Shay says
I'm-
no, but you know what? She talks me into doing all kinds of dumb shit. If I said, Shay, will you please run this with me? Look at your Strava. I mean, look at your email. I signed you up already. We're doing it next weekend.
So you got what kind of fun stuff you going to get into while you're out in California with the family? You still got a little time out there left on vacation.
Yeah, we're going to do a bunch. We've already done a bunch of hiking. We're going to do more hiking. The Desolation Wilderness area is like right down the street from us and supposed to have some amazing trails in there.
Very
So
cool.
drag the family there. We're going to take a boat out one day out on the lake.
Nice.
And then, Western States will be watching that, dragging everybody.
Awesome. And listen, I
Oh,
think it's
better.
really cool that your son is following your footsteps. And you're really, I'm sure you're inspiring your family to do these hard things. It means so much when your kids watch their dads do these things. And he won't forget these trips. He won't forget these lessons learned. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm happy that he gets to do like his first trail races at Broken Arrow, which is like one of the most amazing
Yeah.
places to be able to do your first trail. And then my daughter did the kids race too, so she had fun.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. So vacation's over, races are wrapping up. Anything else really exciting for this year that you've already signed up for?
Let's see. I haven't really signed up. I kind of made it a point to not have anything on the calendar for Tahoe 200. So this was kind of all in on this one.
That makes sense.
So there's other things that I'm eyeing. I I want to go up to North Carolina, and I'm talking to my brother. He lives up there, and doing the SCAR, the Smoky Challenge Adventure Run. Might do that. It's the whole AT section through the Smoky Mountains.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like 70-ish miles or so, but it's pretty remote out there. So we might do that, or I don't know. Spend some more time out in the mountains is the goal.
Yeah. And you're going to be doing some crewing yourself. It sounds like you said. So who are you crewing and pacing?
So going and crewing and pacing Ouray 100 next month. So got a busy summer.
Yeah, you definitely have a busy summer for sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're really excited about the stuff you got going on. I'm looking to see your social media. I mean, like Jeff Iosa did send me some really cool pictures. So he got some good ones out there. It's really cool to see a Florida guy going out and killing it at these mountain races. So
I do have one question because I meant to ask it earlier. So when you are strength training, what are your main things, like your main kind of things you're doing, making sure that you do to keep your mountain legs strong?
So every 6 to 7 times a week, I lift upper body with just basic. I don't use much weight, but it's just body weight. So I do push-ups, pull-ups, core work, foam rolling. That's 6 to 7 times a week. And then 2 to 3 days a week, I do squats, lunges, single leg step ups, deadlifts. What else is there? Calf raises.
Please don't say Bulgarian split squats. Please don't say Bulgarian split squats.
I have at times, but I don't really. Yeah, I kinda hate that.
We hate them.
So they kind of get out of the routine.
So those are pretty traditional gym exercises. When you're doing squats, are they straight-legged squat? I mean, I'm sorry, deadlifts. You doing straight-legged deadlifts? You doing like a regular traditional deadlift? What type of deadlifts you doing?
Just regular barbell straight-legged deadlift.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds pretty simple to me.
That's all the stuff we need to be doing.
I think that's probably why when I do go to the mountains and I do hike a lot, and it does. It's usually pretty simple for me.
You just need to go run a mountain 100.
Maybe
Joe.
I just need.
Hooray, Joe!
I'm gonna pick out a short distance and go suffer through a short distance.
We will all take on that challenge. Find us like a shorter mountain something.
Yeah.
And so
why are you looking at me?
Well, then you can kick mine and Kevin's asses with your mountain legs, and we'll be going,
So a great one I do every year is Pine Mountain. It's up in Georgia.
Pine Mountain in Georgia.
They have a 19-mile and a 40-mile option.
There you go.
Hey.
It's 19 miles is a good
Rocky,
way to start.
Rooty, but not too much climbing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll go up to the mountains. I lived in Asheville for 16 years, and
it's by Guts. Okay.
I would go up there and do a little hiking all the time. So I just need to get my lungs back. I can tell the difference myself at 5,000 feet whenever I'm up in the mountains. So
well, we're about to find out here real soon too.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that we haven't touched on? I mean, you've got such a long, extensive career, but I know we could probably talk all night long about all the different races you've done. But I want to give an opportunity for you. If you want to give a shout out to any of your crew or pacers, anyone that helped you out with this race or anything like that, this is a good time for it.
Yeah, I'd love to shout out my wife, Nikki. She put up with me through that whole thing and was spot on at all the aid stations. And then Joshua Gray paced me for 70-ish miles, and then Jeff Iosa for another 70-ish miles. So
wow,
it's a big pacing to do. They broke it up where they each did like 30-something miles at a time. Well, it was supposed to be like 33 mile sections, but they were all 36, 37 by the time we got into it. So I appreciate them. There was a lot of time on there that they devoted to come out here and help me out. So I hope they at least got to enjoy some of the miles.
So do you think either or both of them are going to go back and do Tahoe 200 themselves, or do you think they got enough of a taste of it from being with you?
Well, Joshua was supposed to do Tahoe a few years ago, but it got canceled because of the wildfires, and then he hasn't come back to do it. So I don't know if he wants to come back and do it. And then Jeff went through like moments where he's like, I'm signing up. And then 10 miles later, he's like, no, I think I'm good.
Well, I
don't know if he's going to commit or not.
Yeah.
This game that we do really is a team sport, and you can't do it without your crew and your support and your family and all the people that it takes to make it happen. You might be the one running, but there's definitely a lot of people behind the scenes to make these things happen.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I had in a way, the simplest job. All I had to do was run and eat.
Yeah,
Hopefully eat enough,
Things we say all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was really great having you on. I appreciate it,
thanks,
man.
Brian.
Thanks for taking the time, especially in the middle of your vacation.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Go and enjoy your time in California, man.
Oh, we definitely are. It's beautiful. It's weird. I'm wearing long sleeves every day and pants, and I don't know how I'm going to get back to Florida.
Enjoy Western
man.
states and get you lots of that cool free swag, man. There's so much
right.
of it.
Oh, yeah, I have been.
Yeah.
My daughter's been grabbing all this stuff. I don't know how many, hats we have and socks and whatnot. Grab it, so.
Heck yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Go to our website, www.where'sthefinishpodcast.com.
Let's go. But your downloads.
How am I supposed to put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it under these conditions?
I don't
I
know that. I got nothing.
I don't even know what they say. No.
It's something backward.
You gotta play it in reverse.
I'm fairly certain it's something that is said backwards.
Yeah.
So,
Reverse.